What's up, my boys? So this video is going to be very deep. It's going to be very fun to disclose these things, and I want you guys to really think about the situations that you're in and how you go about relationships and love and why you should never cling on to people for love. Damn, I need a fucking haircut. But why you should never cling on to people for love or beg anyone for love. This goes for male and female, right? So after this video, I want you guys to go watch this movie. It's a very well-known movie, and I know a lot of people seen it. I don't think a lot of people can extract what I extract from certain movies. Like, this movie was about a mob and, someone that was close to the mob, the Italian mob at the time, and they got gifted a casino and everything like that. So the movie's called Casino, and Goodfellas was tied with this movie. So there's a lot of characters from Goodfellas in that movie of Casino, especially the main two characters from Goodfellas who are in Casino. But Goodfellas is a way better movie. Don't argue with me. But generally, why you shouldn't beg on or hold on to people for love or beg people for love or cling to people for love. Like, it's the most saddest thing in the world that I've seen. And, I'm going to give you guys some of the pimp game too. You know what I'm saying? The pimps often say that they fuck with the woman that fuck with them, the one that choose on them. And I understood that, and I took it within my life. And that's the best way to go about long-term relationships or having genuine love with people. You know what I'm saying? Because if they're picking you and choosing you for who you are, they like your character, they like you. You don't have to be anyone else, and you're truly your authentic self, regardless of anything. You know what I'm saying? So you don't gotta play a character, you don't gotta play the nonchalant role, or you don't gotta be the most charismatic, or whatever the fuck. They like you for you, so just be you. Deadass. Like, genuinely. And you're going to evolve as a human, and that's just what it's going to be. But they like you for you. They chose on you for a reason. Out of everyone, they're going to choose on you. And I'll make videos on in the future of how to get chose with your mouth closed, shit like that. But that's some of the pimp game, for you guys. Like, generally, we often overlook the people that love us for who we are. Like, we often overlook them because we want more. We want to chase more. We want to chase more of the bad bitches, or some of the women that we want, or have sex, or just shit like that. We often overlook the women that are already there, that love us for us. And it's kind of hard because, like, once you have something in your hand and you just know it's there, it's kind of like, I want more. But we often overlook what we have, which is love from another person that genuinely likes us and that we go chase, and then we're in relationships with people who don't fuck with us for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love people that fuck with me. I love shorties that fuck with me, and that's that. Like, I don't care. I'm not going to be no one else. Why is my camera on? Oh, shit. Like, why am I going to be someone else? I refuse to be that. I am Patrick, and that's that. This is a big message towards men and women as well, but just men in general, because you will see this as, being the nice guy or being the good guy. And you know what I'm saying? I generally am a good guy regardless. I won't act like a different character. I won't be nobody like no rude guy, no ugly guy, no play a character type guy. That's just not me. I'm going to be Patrick, and that's that, like I've said. This example has been shown throughout history, throughout times, day in and day out. And the number one thing of women for men is they can just take advantage of men easily, like genuinely, especially good guys. And they're kind of our kryptonite, especially to strong, powerful men, because men don't know how to stop clinging to love, like genuinely. Let's talk about Samson and Delilah first, right? First things first, this is back in the Bible. I forgot the time period, but the basic moral of the story was Samson was gifted with powers from God, and God gave Samson powers that no one else had. He had strength. He killed a lion with a fucking bone in his bare hands. I believe he killed like 1,000 or a couple thousand people by himself, just walking them down like he's him. You know what I'm saying? So everybody was ducking Samson. Hold on, how many people did Samson kill? How many people did Samson kill? According to the Bible, Samson killed 1,000 Philistines with a donkey's jawbone. Like, he really was him. Like, he was strong as hell. Nobody was fucking with him. And the key of his power that God gave him, God told him, you shall never cut your hair. Don't ever cut your hair. And Samson was one of the reasons why I even grew my hair out, because I'm like, yo, that's hard. And I fuck with that. Basically, his oppositions at the time, they sent a woman to go conquer Samson because they know every man's weakness is lust and fucking women, just genuinely, like, beautiful women. So they get a woman from the op side. She comes and goes and seduces Samson. And Samson, like, it was so weird. I don't know why this happened. Like, You know what I'm saying? She kept trying to seduce him to get the answers out of Samson. The first time she asked him, where does your power lie, basically? Like, how do we get this? Like, where's your power coming from? Like, how do you kill all of these people? You know what I'm saying? How did you kill a lion with your bare hands and shit? You know, his power was coming from his hair. And basically, God said if you get cut, if your hair ever gets cut by a razor, your power will be gone, basically. And he told her a lie. He told her one lie. I'm not too sure of the lie. I kind of forgot the moral of that lie. But she went, because she was on the op side, she went and told the other people on her side, like, listen, like, this is where his power is. He just told me his weakness, blah, 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 blah. And they go and try to seize his power, take his power away from him. And Samson notices it, but he doesn't see the red flag out of this bitch. Like, yo, she just tried to play you out and try to take your power away from you. But that's what happens when you're seduced by a beautiful woman or some shit. But you got to stand on morals and principles. This is the moral of the story. So then she sees that he lies to her. And she's like, why would you lie to me? Bah, 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 bah. Hitting him with the woman shit. And he's like, he just, you know, he just going about his day. Then she asks him again, in order for you to love me, bah, 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 you better tell me where the power lies. Shit like that. And he tells her another lie. And she goes to the op side, her opposition. She's from the op side. She goes to the opposition and is like, this is where he told me the power lies, blah, blah, blah. This is what we need to do. The second time, he realizes this bitch trying to take the power away from me. But he's still, you know what I'm saying? He's still around the hoe. You should have been got the hoe up out of there after the first time that you see she tried to seize your power. Then she, you know, she sees that it's a lie. And then the third time, tell me where the power lies, blah, 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 blah. For real this time, she all mad and shit. And then he actually tells her it lies from my hair, and that if you cut it with a fucking razor, my power goes. I don't know how he didn't see the 2 red flags. But then when he was sleeping, she went and got a razor and cut his hair, and boom, all of his power was gone. And then they seized him, they took his eyeballs out, and moral of the story is, like, he trusted this girl that she was not to be trusted, like, dead ass. And this happens throughout history of, you know, even Napoleon. They said Napoleon was a simp. Napoleon Bonaparte, the one from the great French revolutionary, like the great leader of France. He was a fucking simp. You know what I'm saying? Go watch the movie of Napoleon as well. You go see that he's a fucking simp. I made that video a long time ago, but I just don't want to include clips because they gonna take that shit out of my video and they're not gonna monetize my shit. So I'm not fucking with that. I'm not fucking with that. So Napoleon was a simp too. I read up on that I forgot the girl. Hold on, let me get that. Napoleon Bonaparte wife. Josephine, this hoe. Yeah, Josephine. She ends up cheating on his ass too. She ends up cheating on this dude. And he still go back with the bitch. I'm like, man, come on, Napoleon. In the movie too, he shows that he stands on business at first. So when I'm watching the movie at the movie theater, I'm like, oh shit, word, you about to stand on business? Say no more. So he's like, fuck you, how could you do this to me? Blah, 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 blah. He basically kicks her to the curb. I'm like, oh, why? You're standing on business. Like, you know what I'm saying? Fuck is you doing? Like, you know who you are? You Napoleon, bro. You could go get another bitch like this instantly, without a doubt. The suckerness came back, brought the bitch back. And that was like a big part to his downfall, because that woman took him away from his leadership of what he did. You know what I'm saying? He had too much love for her, so he was clinging on to her for love. I'm like, yo, why the fuck does this keep happening? Why does this happen in all terms of society? They send a woman to go infiltrate this dude and like distract them from what they're doing. Like, real shit. So another thing, right? Onto the point with Casino. Casino is... It's a good movie, but you will see the most suckerish shit throughout this movie. Like, please go watch that movie. So throughout Casino, it's the main character. He's a Jew, and the others are Italians. He's very close with the Italians. So the Italians gifted him a casino, basically. And he's running through the casino. He's spotting all types of shit. He has power since he's associated with the mob, but he's not really with the mob because he's Jewish. You can't be a made man unless you're Italian. If you know, you know. But that's like... what the mob is, you have to be a made man, something along the lines of that. But he was close with them, so he can call them up for shit, you know, call them up for anything, and you know they'll have his back since they're getting money from the casino. They're scamming people from the casino and giving it to the mob bosses. So they're like, yeah, this motherfucker giving me some money, so shout out to him. We gonna watch over him, basically. In one of the earlier scenes, you see this woman. Beautiful woman, don't get me wrong. They're always going to send a bad bitch, though. They're always going to send a bad bitch. There's always going to be a bad bitch that's going to deceive you. So the beautiful woman in the beginning of the movie, she's already scamming some sucker ass dude or some shit. I forgot what it was. She was just taking chips from him from the casino. That shit worth mad bread. I'm not too into casino games and all that nut shit or gambling, but if you watch that movie and you gamble, you'll be like, oh, this bitch is, she playing the sucker dude out. So the casino manager or the guy who owns the casino, he's looking at her from afar and he doesn't give a fuck about what she's doing. He's just like in awe of her beauty, because she really was a beautiful ass girl in that movie. No funny shit. I don't know what the actor name is, but she bad as hell. He's deceived by her looks. The next clip, you'll see the most suckerish shit. He ends up talking to her and everything like that. And you know what's very funny about this whole movie? The pimp game's in the movie too. It's a white boy who's a pimp, but I don't like how the way he was pimping though. I didn't like his pimping, the way he was seducing the woman and just like infiltrating her mind. I genuinely didn't like it, but it was in the movie. So the reason why this girl was at the casino is gaining all of this money, she was known around the way. Everyone knew her. You know what I'm saying? The whole reason why she was there was to go get money to give to her pimp, because she's a hoe. You know what I'm saying? She's a hoe. We're gonna obviously look away from all of the red flags. And I'm telling you, throughout this movie, you'll see this bitch had like 1,000 red flags, and this sucker ass dude did not let this bitch go. And one of the clips, they end up hanging out and they're like getting closer and shit like that. And after 2 months of knowing this girl, he proposes marriage to her. And I was like, oh, okay, we're going with some sucker shit in this movie. Like instantly. It's like one of like the first 20 minutes you realize like, yo, this dude's a fucking sucker. And you know what's funny? Later on in the movie, after she keeps playing him out, he's like, I'm not a sucker. I'm like, bitch, shut up. You're a sucker. Like, fuck is you talking about? So after 2 months, he goes and proposes marriage to this girl. And the girl is the dead ass telling him, I do not see you in that way. I swear to God. But he's blinded by love and the emotions that he has with this girl. And she's dead ass telling him to his face. They're on the couch talking. I do not see you in that way. And he's still proposing it. He's still doing this simp ass sucker shit. She does not want you. I said, I know where this is going from the moment I've seen this shit. Like the clips, the red flags. I'm like, she's a hoe. She's giving money to her pimp. This dude's a sucker. He doesn't care about what she does and how she moves. He just wants to marry her after 2 months and he loves her and blah, 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 blah. She's like dead ass telling him, no, I don't want to marry you, basically. I don't see you in that way. She friend zoned Lil Bro. She said, I do not see you in that way. Friend zoned his ass. And then he starts to offer her a future. This is where I'm like, yo, this is the most suckerish shit you can ever do. He starts to lead with his pocket. And he guarantees her that, if we get married, you know what I'm saying, you're going to have a future. I'll have like $1 million for you. And this is like 1980, so like $1 million was way more back then. He proposes a future to this girl. And with that proposal, like, you know what I'm saying, she's like, yeah, I can do this then. You know what I'm saying? Like a guaranteed future, no matter what happens. She's already seen that she wants to opt out. She's like, okay, I'm going to take this money. I'm going to take the $1 million, whatever. And I'm going to divorce and I'm going to just go about my way back with my pimp, basically. She sees through it. Why are you begging for love? Why would you offer her money for her to love you? That's materialistic love. Like, what the fuck is that shit? He literally tells her, if you ever wanted to leave, you'll be set for life. You'll be okay. Everything's fine, right? So she already says, okay, he's saying all that. Say no more. But he had one proposition before they got married. He has to have a kid with her. I'm like, oh my God, where does the sucker shit ever end? Yo, you watch that movie, you'll be like, yo, this is the most nuttiest shit you'll ever see. And he actually catches her on the phone crying on the day of their wedding day. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know when they're supposed to be happy you got married and shit. She ends up going to the room and cries. And is talking to her pimp on the phone. The pimp's talking his shit, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And the dude walks in. His name is, I forgot the main character's name. Ace, I believe that's his name. Ace walks in and finds her on the phone talking and shit like that. Talking to her pimp, basically, like, blah, 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 blah. I still love you. Everything with me. She still says, yeah, I know you still love me. I love you too. I'm doing this for the future. Shit like that. And the pimp is like, yeah, just do it for the future. Because the pimp wants the money. He don't give a fuck about the girl. The pimp wants the money. And the sucker ass dude Ace comes in, walks in on her crime, shit like that. I'm like, bro, you're begging for her love and she don't love you. Why you still begging for this love? Like that's materialistic love. That shit never gonna work out. Later on to the movie, the bitch starts getting onto drugs, all types of shit. He starts buying her everything. He buys her a house. He buys her cars. He buys her jewelry, a box worth of jewelry, $1 million worth of jewelry, all of the clothes, all of the mink shit. So he's leading with his pocket for her to love him. Bro, at the end of the movie, it starts to get really crazy, bro. I'm talking about they have that kid that I mentioned earlier. She literally took the kid with the pimp to go overseas to use her own child as motherfucking as a ransom money. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? So Ace knows this. He gets a phone call. He's from like he has mob ties, so they go around the way. They know where these motherfuckers gonna be at. So you can't get away. And they were gonna use that kid, her own kid, as fucking ransom money. I'm like, yo, she used your child. Fuck your love. Fuck your emotions that you have with this woman. That girl used her own child and your child at that for ransom money. You know, like using her as hostage, holding the kid as hostage. Like, if you don't give me this amount of money, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker or some shit. And the pimp is there too and shit like that. I'm like, yo, this is actually nuts. Like, fuck your love for this bitch. This bitch is useless. This bitch is worthless. Like, she's garbage, bro. Real shit. And I'm not gonna sit here and lie. Like, go watch that movie. You'll see everything and you'll know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. And you know what happens? He promises not to kill the girl. And the girl comes back. The pimp gets his money, he's chill, everything's smooth. He doesn't let the bitch go. He doesn't. Oh, the woman cheats on him with his best mans. The one that he's working with the whole time. She ends up cheating on him with her best mans because he had more power than him. And she wanted to feel safe and have money to give to her pimp as well. His man's is a sucker too, like little ass bitch dude for that. Like, yo, why you cheat on, like, why would you have sex with your man's bitch? Like, you was goofy as fuck. Let this bitch go, please. So at the, like, later on in the movie, bro, the woman ends up motherfucking tying her kid to her bed and shit like that. And then Ace comes home and sees that shit, what she's doing to this child. And he ends up kicking the bitch out. Like, he actually crashes out for the one time. But you'll see he's just a good guy. He's a nice guy. Like, he's giving this girl so many chances. I'm like, yo, how the fuck are you blind to this? Why are you blinded by love? Like, you're supposed to have balls and say, fuck this bitch because what she's doing to your kid. Not only for you, but for what she did to your kid. So he ends up crashing out on this bitch. He like, all right, get the fuck out of my house. I'm like, yo, about time. About time. He puts the boot to the girl. Swear to God, she comes back the next scene. And then the simp ass dude in bed after what she did to her kid. After all of the money she's taken from him, you know, giving it to her pimp. He knows about the pimp. He visits him. He actually visits him and then he has his people fuck him up. Still, she going back to her pimp. You know what I'm saying? Her lover. That's who she loves. Not you, you fucking goofy. After all of that shit, she actually gets a haircut. She looks ugly as fuck too. It's actually crazy. She gets a mullet. I'm like, what the fuck is this? She's on crack. She on coke. She drunk as hell. Like, she needs, like, help. She goes and lays in his bed. And then he's like, after all this time, I still didn't want to kick her out. I said, this motherfucker's a goofy. Like, why? I'm watching this movie like, you can't be this much of a sucker. Oh, and when he's crashing out, he's like, do you think I'm a sucker? I said, duh, you fucking goofy. Like, she's obviously playing you out. And, you know, at the end of the movie, everyone ends up dying and he survives and shit like that. But all of it went downhill because of this girl. Like, I'm telling you this right now. The moment the girl got into his life, everything went downhill. You know what I'm saying? She ends up actually talking about she wants to kill this dude over the phone to her pimp. She was like, I'm going to kill him. I swear to God. He walks in, he hears that shit. And he's still with the bitch. I'm like, especially with my child and shit, I would never put my child up for shit like that. And that was his own doing because he was a goofy. He fell in love with a hoe. Dead ass. He knew that she was a hoe. He knew that she used to scam. He avoided all of her red flags for one thing. And I want you to understand what that one thing was. Her beauty. Eliminate the beauty. Now you see the character and you see all of the shit that she's done. I swear to God, go watch that movie. You're going to be like, what the actual fuck? Out of all of the women he had power. He had a fucking casino. He was fly, suited, and booted at all times. And you want to know the funniest part? Her pimp was bummy, ugly as shit. And her man that she married, Ace, the main character, he was fly as shit at all times. He was a good, genuine man. Her pimp was ugly than a motherfucker. Like not fly at all. You know, he looked homeless almost. Like, still taking this dude's bread because he was a sucker. Because he had no morals. Like, he avoided all of the red flags for one thing because she was beautiful. And I want you to understand that. That was like something similar with the Samson. The girl was actually beautiful, so that's why he still kept her around. You'll see this with Napoleon too. All of these greats, they get infiltrated by a girl's beauty and clinging onto people for love. Like, he bought this woman's love. He was holding onto her with money, like offering her money. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, there's so many red flags that I can't even forgot. There was a bank account. He gave her like $1 million in it. And he and you know what he did? He gave her the key to that box, and her key only. And at the beginning of the movie, he's like, I need you to trust me, or I need to have trust into you and everything like that. Bro, this dude gave her $1 million in a box full of money, puts it into the thing, into the bank account, and tells the banker, I don't even have access to this. She's the only person that has access to this money. I'm like, what the fuck? And then the banker's like, Ace, like, no one does this before. You must really trust your wife. And he's like, yeah, I do. Sucker ass dude. Like, yo, that whole movie was nothing but red flags. Like, he deserved his downfall. I swear to God. Like, if there was a downfall ever deserved in these mob movies, he was number one. Because most other movies with Goodfellas, they was standing on business. They was not having none of that shit. Like, that's why I respected those movies. Like, The Godfather and shit like that. All of those other mob movies, they wasn't going for none of that shit. Like, none of that sucker ass shit. And you will see the most craziest suckerish shit within that movie. And I never seen that. And that's why I like Goodfellas way better. Casino was cool. Don't get me wrong. That shit was like a 7 out of 10. But Goodfellas had to been like a 9. Like, that shit was fire. That's just the moral of a story. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even within my own personal life, I know people that cling on to people for love. Genuinely. Why they cling on to people for love is because they don't have love for themselves. What I really mean by that is getting cheated on. You know what I'm saying? Oh, in the movie, he knows he's getting cheated on. Like, the whole thing, he knows all of this, and he's still with the girl. I'm like, this gotta stop. Like, this, you know what I'm saying? I was actually watching, like, looking forward to the movie for, like, being a tough-ass movie like Goodfellas, and it was pretty solid, but I'm like, yo, this sucker shit getting me mad. Like, I couldn't wait till the movie was over. Like, what I could really say is, literally, bro, in all of these movies, you will see a lot of this sucker shit. You will, bro. And, you know what I'm saying? When you cling on to people for love and you're getting cheated on and you're still with this person, you don't have no love for yourself. You have no self-respect, no self-worth. And that's something I need to instill upon you. You know, the more that you cling on to people for love and the more that you leave with your pocket in the most suckerish way, you will see why being a simp, that character Ace was a fucking simp, a lame when it came to women. Everything else, he was spot on. He was basically a leader. Like, he was smart, everything about him. But then when it came to a shorty, everything, all of his empire just fell when it came to a shorty, just because she looked good. I couldn't believe that shit. And if you're getting cheated on and you don't leave, you know what I'm saying? Because I've seen people, bro. I see people I know day to day within my life. They're getting cheated upon day in and day out. I'm talking about it's damn near a daily thing, and they're still clinging on to that other human for love. Hopefully one day that they change or some shit. I don't even have a one day for someone to change. Fuck you, and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way I can have that, like, within me that, you know what I'm saying? Maybe most guys do. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, in that movie, I seen that, like, this guy was a genuine good guy. He was just trying to be a good person. He really was. And everything backfired on him for not having a backbone and morals that he stood upon. When it came to, like, street shit, he stood on morals and principles. But when it came to his shorty, he did not stand on nothing at all. He was negotiating with his girl. He was doing all of this shit you would never do or see me doing. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Throughout time, you're going to keep seeing this shit. You're going to keep seeing, great leaders fall because of a shorty clinging on to their love. Even for men, men too. You know what I'm saying? Like, a woman will cling on to a man for love. He don't really love her. Shit like that. This is vice versa advice, you know what I'm saying? But more times than not, like, a lot of men's great downfall is a shorty. Like Samson, motherfucking Napoleon. It's a recurring theme. Like, I wasn't watching this movie for that, but it just so happened to be in it. Just a simp-ass dude. I'm like, this simp-ass dude is actually, like, a really good guy. And this is what people are actually like in real life. Like, they're just trying to be a good guy to their wife and everything. And the wife just, that bitch was crashing the fuck out. Like, she was crashing his car, fucking everything up, bro. You don't even know. Like, really go watch that shit. It was a fire movie. But when you're clinging on to love, you're leading with your pocket, materialistic things, that's not love, dude. Like, I'm telling you, that's why I started in the beginning of this movie, or I said this movie, the beginning of this video. Go with the people that genuinely love you for you, because you don't have to play a character or be anything else. That's why I learned from the pimp game. I was like, yo, that's the best advice I damn near ever heard for, like, some relationship shit. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shorties will still see a simp dude in her phone, but they will often, over time, overlook that person, and they want the player. They want the Chris Brown and shit, and they want to cuff him. I'm like, hey, man, good luck. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be an endless loophole looking for love, because you're not cuffing no Chris Brown. Someone like that. Where he got mad bitches in his phone, but she wanted to cuff him. Go ahead with all that. But like I said, humans overlook what we already have. So when you lead with relationships, never lead with no fucking pocket. Never lead begging for love. Never, because that means you don't have no love, no self-respect for yourself. If someone is going around the way saying, yeah, I cheated on my girl, I did this, that, and the third, they talk to you how they want to talk to you or some shit, how the fuck do you still be with that person? Like, no one, like, that's just crazy work. I done heard it all. I'm talking about real life experiences. I'm not talking about nothing else. I'm talking about real life experiences and shit you'll see from these movies. And even in the Bible, SIMPS and Delilah, the most simplest shit I ever heard in my life. Like, God gave me this power to be strong as hell, and I'm gonna give it up because she looks good. Impossible. Keep it moving. Immediately. Get away from me. Like, yo. But maybe they didn't look at it at that time. Maybe they overlooked their power, like Samson overlooked his power. Genuinely, he did. Basically a player back in the day type shit. I forgot the word. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, he was always talking to women. He was always seducing women, shit like that. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit was one of the crazy stories I heard. You go do your research on Samson and Delilah if you wanted to. Go research Napoleon. I read all of this shit in books, and you know what I'm saying? This is why even the pimp game, a lot of them win. Because the pimp, even in the movie, he did not give a fuck about how she looked. He gave a fuck that she gave him his money. That's what he cared about. You know what I'm saying? And am I saying that's a good thing? No, because, like, you know what I'm saying? Don't go pimping shorties and shit. But I'm really just saying, like, once you overlook the looks of, like, okay, she's stunning. Okay, we get it, bro. Relax. Like, calm yourself the fuck down. Like, okay, she's still human. Relax. Take her off that pedestal. You'll see her as human. You'll be able to get that human way quicker. You won't be in awe and, you know, seduced and, you know, hypnotized by her beauty. Because that's how it is in like, moral, just our life. A lot of simps are just hypnotized by their beauty because they don't know how great they are within themselves. And I just feel like I'm the shit. So, you know what I'm saying? I would never put anyone above me, even if she's a beautiful girl. And, you know, shout out to all the beautiful women. But shit, listen, you're not above me. No one's above me. Only God's above me. And for the shorties who think handsome men is in the same way, this is vice versa. Ain't nobody above you because they look good or that man is strong or he's this or he smells good. I don't know. Yo, like, these morals that you will learn, never leave with your pockets. The pimp, you know what I'm saying? The pimp don't give a fuck about how she look. You know what I'm saying? As long as you give him his money, that's all that fucking matters. You know what I'm saying? So when you overlook the way that she looks and how, you know what I'm saying, you're not hypnotized by that shit. You see the person for who she really is. And the dude in the movie, he was hypnotized the whole movie. He didn't care about any of that. He cared about how she looked, like, dead ass. Like, he just cared about her, and he was in awe, and he was, like, you know, hypnotized. And she was beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but if you allow those red flags to, like, literally take you off of who you are, and you have morals that you want a good, genuine woman or some shit, and this woman comes about, but she's bad, so you keep her around, you're only hindering yourself. You're only being hypnotized. You're only disrespecting yourself, honestly. It's human. Don't disrespect yourself. You are great. Fuck is you talking about? So, you know, take them off the pedestal, bro. Never lead with love from your pockets. That's the goofiest. Go watch that movie. That's the goofiest shit you will ever see in your fucking life. Oh, I can buy you the world. Your life's gonna be set. Blah, blah, blah. She's already out the door thinking, okay, yeah, I'm gonna divorce him, get everything I want from this dude. Like, I'm like, the fuck? She used her own kid as ransom. Like, yo, that shit was crazy, yo. Fuck all that Dutch shit, bro. That's why you need some isms in your life sometimes, man. No funny shit. So that's just something that I watched the other day, and I don't even watch movies like that, genuinely. But, like, that's just a lesson you can learn, like, real shit. Real shit. So I love y'all, bro. Please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'm gonna leave my last video right here for you guys. So you missed upon that, go watch that video. So stay yourself, stay 300, whatever you do in life. Trust me, I believe in you, bro.